Yo, what's good?
Wow, that was a fast one. I was ready for the long, dramatic.
Listen, there's a difference between football games and football streams.
Fair enough.
It's a different vibe, different kind of energy. I suck at this. I have fun with the other thing. I mean, I have fun with this too, but I suck at this. Why am I going to give some dramatics? Something I'm about to get beat down with.
I don't know. I have a lot of fun just feeding off of your energy. So whatever you bring to the table.
Listen, I told you were in charge of intros from now on, so if waving your hands is our intro, then what's good, Blood Fam?
Hey, it is what it is. There's some days I come in here fired up and motivated, and there's some days I come in here kind of, what are we about to see? But today I'm a little fired up and motivated because I get to watch my team on Thursday Night Football.
Yeah, I'm pretty interested in that game. I don't know if I'm necessarily fired up about it because I'm a little uncertain. I'm the I don't know, I don't like what I don't know kind of person, and like I don't know what we're gonna see in that game. So I'm excited, but I'm a little
Well,
taking a step back on this one. But last week, let's talk about last week real quick. You went 12-3, having a heck of a year. Like I think this might be your best year yet, honestly. You're sitting at 93-45. I went 9-6, which I thought it was worse than that. I just tallied it up like 5 minutes ago. And so honestly, I'm not that upset about it because I thought it was gonna be way worse. I was a little reckless last week, and if you think I was reckless last week, I'm going to be even worse this week. I'm looking forward to that. But I am sitting at 79-59. This is probably my best year. Also, I'm 20 games over 500. So, and we're at week 10. I'm usually like 20 games below 500 by this point. So I'm happy to be here.
fair enough.
But
But I just want to say that I'm lobbying today. You know, we've had a week of political stuff, but I'm lobbying against you today. I'm telling you that I think that you really need to pick the Ravens tonight because I want to be able.
no. There's no negotiation in what Alex decides to do, especially with Thursday night football. You learned your lesson last week.
But I'm
You
not
had
allowed
an
to pick the Ravens.
opportunity to pick against me last week, and you didn't. So I cannot feel bad for you.
Yeah, well, we both agreed last week that the Jets deserve to lose, no matter how that game turned out. They still
Uh,
deserved it.
I think every game with them for the rest of the year is just going to be hilarious to me. But since you're wanting to try to do some illegal negotiations, why don't we start into week 10? Week 10, we're in double digits.
That's not fair at all.
Dude, it's like we just started, man. Like a few days ago. Now it's week 10. Before we jump into Thursday night football, we do have 4 teams on the bye this week. We've got the Raiders, with whose needs a break right now. We've got the Seahawks, who also arguably could use a break right now. The Browns, who whatever. But and the Packers, all of these teams, I think, coming off tough losses this week, and it's a pretty good time for them to have their bye weeks.
Yeah, I think it's a great time for the Packers to regroup and make a run. The Browns have a lot of issues all the way around.
That's why they're the one team I'm like, I don't know.
They're in rebuild mode, but you know what? It gives Jameis Winston or Dorian Thompson Robinson an opportunity to build up a resume for next year. So I look forward to watching that. And the Seahawks, Geno Smith needs to settle down.
And also, like the injuries with like DK and everything. Another week, I think would do this team some good because they're not really that bad. Like their performances are rough to watch, but they're a team that's been hanging in there all year. So I think right now at the height of, they're dealing with a couple losses, a couple injuries. I think this bye week, some rest to regroup, to come back. I feel like they might look like a much better football team next week.
Yeah, I want to see how they do out of the bye. I'll be thinking hard about picking them next week.
Yeah, we know what you said.
Yep, never going to pick the Seahawks again.
Yeah, we know what you said.
Gino.
I'm not going to say that.
Well, that's what I said, so I got.
I hope they're on Thursday so I can pick them next week.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Anyway, let's hop into week 1. That's our bye teams. Last week we had 2. The week before we had none. This week we got 4. So that means we've only got 14 games this week. Which means if I do really bad, it's gonna hurt a lot worse. And I feel very reckless going into this week. But starting off Thursday Night Football, we've got your Bengals heading to Baltimore under the lights to take on the Ravens. They're debuting some sweet new purple helmets tonight. I don't know what the Bengals are wearing. I don't know what they're bringing. But the big talking point about this specific matchup is this is the game last year that knocked Joe out for the rest of the year. And look, I'm going to be very blunt and excuse my language, but for whatever that reason, that man is still pissed off. And I know it's not about his wrist, but I know he's thinking about that coming into this game because not after he got his wrist popped in that game, the Ravens just come and rolled over them the remainder of that game. He didn't forget, okay? Look, he threw 5 touchdowns last week and was pissed off about it. So, I like the energy that if maybe not all 53 man, that one man by himself, I think is going to will this team to a victory. I know what the Ravens did to the Broncos last week because I watched it very tight and closely and I enjoyed every second of it. And right now, offensively, who's playing better than the Ravens? Not very many teams, if any. And so the two-headed monster with Lamar and Derrick Henry, also Zay Flowers, the tight end game. There's no Isaiah Likely for this game, which is a good thing. You only got to worry about Mark Andrews and not both of them. But, this is an AFC North divisional matchup, so I don't like to see it being a pretty game. But I've also seen this Bengals team come in here and into Baltimore and kick the snot out of them and run it up. I don't know which receivers are playing. I don't think T. Higgins is, but give me the Bengals. Give me pissed off Joe. And, dude, everybody's like, why is he so mad? I mean, I'm saying that too, but I actually love it. Like, I love it because, I mean, it could go 50-50. It's going to blow this team up or it's going to make this team successful. And so I like to bet on those 50-50 odds. And so give me Angry Joe and the Bengals to get them right.
Well, I sure as hell hope you get a win on Thursday night tonight because your Thursday night record absolutely sucks.
I've gotten 2, right?
And I want you to get a win today. You know what? I look at that Angry Joe last week, and we talked about it a lot. But that looks like determined Joe. Joe's been very vocal, and I think that's going to propel his leadership. I think he's going to remember last year's game that before that wrist injury, he was playing very well in that stadium, and they were looking, pretty unbeatable at that point in time. No T. Higgins takes away a big target. Andre Yoshibas and maybe Jermaine Burton. I don't know if he's listed tonight. I didn't see yet today if they were going to play him. But you know what? That guy's got some talent too. They put Khalil Herbert on the fast track to play tonight. I don't know if he's going to or not. But
maybe kick returns.
But you know what? Let's just go ahead, and I need a Thursday night Bengals win. More importantly, I need Joe healthy, but I want to see what he's going to come out with this week. Give me the Bengals on the road in Baltimore, and let's go.
I was trying to see if I know Orlando Brown is not playing for this game. I was trying to see about what's his name, but I don't see him on the list as listed out.
I don't know. I know that he made some serious mistakes that were very childlike, and I know that the players got on him a lot too this week. So hopefully he'll learn how to be a pro and can be a pro. If not, he'll be a Kansas City Chief, and Andy Reid will try to fix him.
Why is that so funny, dude?
Because it's
probably true. It's probably true. All right. Anyway, good luck to your Bengals. A win today gets you back to 500, and
let's go 500.
That's all you can ask for right now. Moving on to the next, we got the one game all year. We're not sure why it's happening. We're going international. We're going to Germany. But we're sending the Giants and the Panthers, and the 2-7 Giants and the 2-7 Panthers, and I'm just gonna say, F it. Give me the Panthers. They beat the Saints last week. I don't know. I don't care. Like, nobody cares except for Panthers fans. Sorry, Adam, and Giants fans. There's a lot of names to list. I hope the Panthers win. I don't know. This is a toss-up to me.
I saw some diplomacy about this game. This is actually a punishment game for World War II for Germany. We are still punishing that country for that war. They did not necessarily deserve the Giants and the Panthers. Congratulations, Chuba Hubbard, who got a big long-term extension today. He was very emotional about that. I look for him to play very well. I look at what team has the better quarterback, and believe it or not, I'm going to go with Danny Dimes on the road. The defensive line is pretty stout. Carolina's offense has been pretty stagnant other than Chuba Hubbard. Give me the Giants in Germany.
That's fair. This game's just a coin flip to me, but give me Bryce Young and Xavier Leggett and Chuba Hubbard, who got the big payday, which was really cool watching all that today.
That's the best news today.
How many players get extensions in Carolina?
Do they want it?
I mean,
wait, I'm getting extended today. Oh, couldn't I just hit free agency, dude?
That's what I'm saying. So obviously he signed the paperwork. He wanted to commit. Good for him. They're going to ride the wave. They're going to get another win. And, they're going to start to believe that Bryce is their guy. Because, I'm not ruling out the possibility of him being their guy. I mean, Daniel Jones has had 80 starts and he makes more money than half the league. And so, I got faith that this guy can make a long-term career and be a Carolina Panther. He looked a lot better this week. Saints defense is not a easy task. That they only put up 3 last time they played the Saints in week 1, and so that's a big difference. So now over the Giants, I think these teams are relatively equal. I think the Giants defense is much better. But this is in Germany. This is not here. This is not, there's no home field advantage. It's just football fans across all 32 teams showing up to watch this game, to be loud, be crazy, and so I don't give no advantage to either team. This game might end in a tie. I don't know.
Drink some lager. Let's roll.
Moving on to the next, we got the 2-7 Patriots taking on the 4-4 Bears. And I know what you're thinking about this, and I know the direction you're going to go, but this game definitely, in my opinion, right now, feels like a very evenly matched game. I think roster, the Bears are much better as a whole, but we got 2 rookie quarterbacks. We got one getting a late start into the season, one played every game. So we've seen all of his ups and his downs, so far through 8 weeks. I only say 8 because they did have a bye, but I'm going to take the Patriots on the road. Something tells me this is an upset game, and I told you probably 5 weeks ago that this Patriots team, they're not going to win a lot of games this year, but they're going to come and pull off a few upsets here and there. I'm not going to pick them to win every single week, But I feel like, after the way their game in Tennessee ended last week, they're going to be prepared to try to bounce back this week because they took them to the edge, right? And I think this is going to be more evenly matched than it should be.
Yeah, I respect. I think right now, Alex, I think you're playing with house money. You're 20 games over 500 for the season. I think you're rolling out some long shots, but I like the home team here. I'm not a huge advocate of Caleb Williams, but I like the surrounding crew. If they can run the ball against New England at home, I think they will get the dub. Give me the Bears at home, begrudgingly.
Listen, if I go 1-13 this week, I don't care. There's only one game
Yeah, you're playing with house money, man.
I actually care about. But before we started, I told you that I was feeling extremely reckless. This is not me playing with house money. This is me taking. I genuinely feel like this isn't me just saying, "Oh, I hate the Bears," but I saw the Cardinals dismantle the Bears last week. Okay, so it's doable. It's not like they're a 7-1 team right now. They're sitting at 500, which is very respectful in this league, especially the way the league's played out. I'm not throwing any shade, but I have seen glimpses of greatness that can be built on with New England in the last few weeks.
I agree with that.
And so it's not me taking a shot in the dark necessarily. This is me. I probably won't pick them for 2 more weeks, unless they come in here and smack the ever-loving crap out of them. And then I'm like, oh, God, maybe they're okay. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think this is going to be a close game. I wouldn't touch the point spread on it, but yeah, I kind of like this matchup. I like 2 rookie quarterbacks going head to head. I like this game a lot more than I should. Moving on to the next, I'm gonna let you go first, but we've got the 7-2 Bills heading to take on the 4-5 Colts.
Yeah, this really feels like a game that the Colts can get right. I feel like it's an opportunity for them, but with Joe Flacco quarterbacking, I think that gives them a golden opportunity to win this game. But right now, I cannot pick against Josh Allen until he loses. I said I wouldn't pick against him again. Give me the Bills on the road, but man, I hope the Colts beat the ever-loving snot out of them.
Yeah, I figured that's why I went and let you get it out first. But so the Bills have lost the last 7 times they have went to Indianapolis, and the very last time was against a very awful Colts team. No offense to our Colts fans, but that it was a bad year. But Jonathan Taylor absolutely dismantled this Bills team. I think their defense was better then than it is now. Talking about the Bills. But yeah, I have to ride with the trending of history, and I think the Bills are by far the superior team here right now. But I look for Josh Allen. I mean the Colts and Jonathan Taylor to be probably the biggest upset of the week.
Dang.
I know. I'm fully prepared to go 1-13 this week if I need to. But I do feel strongly about that because I watched that. It was like 24-3, that Colts Bills game. It was so stupid. I didn't understand it. But and then I looked into it a little bit, and the Colts just know how to play the Bills at home, and that includes Josh Allen. Moving on to the next, we've got the 6-2 Vikings heading down south to take on the 2-7 Jags.
Yeah, let me try to motivate you on this one a little bit. Minnesota's had 2 very tough games that they've lost here recently. Jacksonville is definitely trending in the wrong direction. Trevor Lawrence is probably going to have shoulder surgery on his off shoulder, so he probably won't play. And if he does play, he's not going to be 100%.
Mac Jones
will be getting the start. That would be interesting. Another quarterback that's got another chance. But I really like the Vikings defense here going into Jacksonville and at least shutting them down. I look for JJ to have a big game. I think they're going to really focus on him. Give me the Vikes on the road. Definitely.
I'm with you. I just can't pick the Jaguars. I have picked them in a few matchups this year. One of their 2 wins I got correctly. But I just I think honestly the switch up at quarterback might bring to life something, because it's going to be a different look, a different angle of attack. And, a lot of teams, not just mine and yours, but a lot of teams struggle against backup quarterbacks. And, I feel like the way I'm trending, I might as well pick the Jags and move on. But I am going to take the Vikings here because they're just a dumpster fire down there in Jacksonville, man.
Yeah, you don't know what you're going to get every single week. That tells me that they're not prepared or not motivated or not focused. And right now, and until they show me something different, they're just like the Seahawks. They're getting L's.
Seahawks are at least playing better. All right, moving on to the next. We got the Broncos heading to Arrowhead to take on the 8-0 Chiefs. I couldn't, like I said earlier, the Broncos had to play probably. You add the Bengals offense, I would say the Ravens offense, the Bills offense, and then the Chiefs as a whole. I'm not going to say necessarily their offense, but those are probably the 4 top AFC teams. And they're coming from Baltimore to Kansas City, and like I said earlier, nobody's hotter offensively than Baltimore has been this last few weeks. And the Broncos defense is more than respectable. We've talked about it. Their trenches alone are probably both top 3 in the league. But Baltimore made them look dumb. Like Baltimore embarrassed the crap out of this Broncos team. Offensively and defensively, they did it all. And so I do look for the Broncos to bounce back and, come a little more prepared for this game. I hate this matchup so much. This is one of my least favorite games of the year, but I will not ever pick against my Chiefs for 1. And 2, yes, I am nervous about Mahomes' ankle, but we're not losing to the Broncos. I can't face that. We're going to send them back down to 500, and I'm going to be back and happy. And that works for you too.
Hey, yeah. It's another one of those scenarios when a team is playing well and things are the ball is bouncing in the right direction no matter what you do. I think Chiefs are one of those teams that just have good field karma. They go out there and they play ball the right way. They don't care how they have to win. They just want to win. And I think they'll find a way in this game. I think the defensive side of the ball is going to be very disruptive in the middle with Chris Jones. I feel like between him and Chanel and Karlaftis, I think they're really going to make the day tough for a rookie quarterback, especially at Kansas City. Give me the Chiefs at home for the dub.
Yeah, that benefits you heavily. Looking for her to get back in the wild card spots, especially with a big win today. That would be even more wanting a Chiefs win here. But this is the only game I hope I get right this week. I don't care about the rest of them. It's Broncos week, and I think that's probably why I'm so comfortable just picking whatever this week, because I don't care about anything other than beating the Broncos. Now, I'm just not disrespecting them. I haven't this year. I say I don't like them, but I have not disrespected them. They've been playing way better than I'd like for them to. So I think this is going to be a tough matchup, but go Chiefs, I guess. Moving on to the next, we got an NFC South matchup. We got the 6-3 Falcons heading to the 2-7 Saints. Give me the Falcons. Go ahead, say what you need to say. I'm over the Saints too.
Yeah, listen, I saw all the takes, and there's a lot of people that feel the same way about Derek Carr that I do, especially after he got Chris Olave's head taken off. I think the Saints are going to play a little bit better, and I don't think Derek Carr will be throwing over the middle this week, especially balls that float a little high. But I'm on the bandwagon. I got the Saints or the Falcons winning 12 games this year. You know what? We're halfway there. So go ahead and give me the Falcons to steal one more big one on the road and continue their dominance of the NFC South.
That's fair. I'm riding with you there this week for sure. But yeah, moving on to the next. This is a very, very intriguing game. We've got the 4-4 49ers heading to take on the 4-5 Buccaneers. And Christian McCaffrey is set to have his debut this week. And I think with that alone, I know he probably won't be 100% Christian McCaffrey, but I am going to take the Niners because just with McCaffrey on the field, Brock Purdy plays better.
Yeah, that's true.
And so I'm going to take the Niners hesitantly because I think Tampa might bounce back this week.
Yeah, I'm going to go against you here completely because I don't think that this 49ers at 4-4, I think there's a lot of things that are not going exactly well for them right now. And this Tampa Bay team is very stingy. They're very tough. And if you don't put them away early, you might lose the game. I did not think that they would come out and compete the way they did in Kansas City without their wideouts, but they came out and they played very, very, very well. Could have won that game. I look for them to bounce back this week. Give me the Bucs at home over the Niners. F. Brock Purdy.
I mean, I'm still with you about that part. I feel exactly the same way. All right, but I think it's a good game. I think it's a good game.
I think it's the game I want to watch on Sunday. Not going to lie at all.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that one a lot, and so it's one to keep our eyes on for sure. This next one, I feel the same way about. We've got the Steelers heading to Washington to take on the Commanders. And this isn't even just for you. This is for me too. But I'm going to take the home team. I like that this game was being played at home because if it was in Pittsburgh, I would have felt like I had no choice but to take Pittsburgh. But give me our offensive rookie of the year, who also they just got Marshawn Lattimore, to bolster that defense just a little bit more. I know Mike Tomlin's got a game plan to prep against this rookie quarterback, and I trust that this guy is going to make this kid's life hell on Sunday. I trust that is going to happen, but I love the fight in this Washington Commanders team. Like, they never give up. They're never out. They're never out, and they haven't been out at all this year. And so, with that, being at home, give me the boys.
Listen, I'm going to agree with you most all the way on this. I love the Comanches. I want them to win so very badly. I think they have everything they need to win. But in my head, my brain says Pittsburgh is going to win this game. And I cannot help but think that. I think Russell Wilson makes them a better team. I think with their additions at the wide receiver spot, they're a little bit more dynamic on offense. I think the running game is enough to help control it, but I'm still picking the Comanches because I'm going to give them home field advantage, and I need the Steelers to take an ass whipping. Give me the Commanders. Let's effing go.
Let's ride. I hate it here. But, yeah, no, I will be, you don't even know. Like, I'll be so wound up if they actually come home with a dub, Like, this is a big test for this team as a whole. Like, not even just Jaden Daniels. This team as a whole. I'm not going to stretch and say that this is the hardest game they'll play all year, but it might be.
It might be the tightest game they play all year.
Well, maybe. I don't know about that. But, they've played a little spotty football. Not consistent. But the one consistent thing is they score a good amount of points. And I think that's important.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to the next we've got the Titans heading to LA to take on the Chargers. Chargers just dominated the crap out of the Browns, and the Titans got a tight win in overtime versus the Patriots.
Yeah, Justin Herbert, Coach Harbaugh, that running game, J.K. Dobbins is playing amazing. Right now, I don't think Tennessee has anything left in the tank to combat that, especially on the road. They're just, right now, they're not a very good team. I've got to pick the Chargers. I think this might be one of my easier picks of the week. I think the Chargers will be 6-3.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. I think the Chargers should just continue rolling, especially with the way J.K. Dobbins has looked. But the whole problem I have with this game is the Chiefs. I always talk about I don't like playing against the AFC South, and I always mention that I feel like divisions play against other divisions the same. Like the Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders, Broncos play against the AFC South all the same. I think this is going to be an incredibly stupid game where the Titans look like they're going to be threatening the Chargers. I feel like I should be wrong, but I've seen this. I've seen Mahomes go into Tennessee and lose 24-3, when I didn't have faith in that team at all, that Titans team. And so I really want to pick the Titans for an upset because I feel disgusting about this game. I feel like this is going to be the messiest game that doesn't make any sense. I'm going to take the Chargers because I think they should win, but this is the one that I will kick myself if the Titans win because I feel it in my gut. They shouldn't. They look awful. They have not impressed me for not even that win against the Dolphins on Monday Night Football because the Dolphins were in shambles, that was the only time they ever looked good either against the one team that was in the most disarray all year. So I don't trust them. I'm going to take the Chargers very loosely because it feels like a trap. This is one of those traps you don't really talk about, but it's there. And yeah, so I also won't be upset if the Titans win, but I would rather the Chargers take number 2 in the AFC West. Moving on to the next, I cannot wait to hear what you have to say about this one. The Jets coming off a big win, and they get a couple extra days from playing on Thursday Night Football. The cayenne pepper water win. On Halloween, get 10 days off or whatever, get to go to Arizona to face the Cardinals, and Call of Duty came out this weekend. So tell me what you think.
Listen up, right? So I got a lot of thoughts, and I will streamline them very quickly. I am so scared of Aaron Rodgers going to the desert. Somehow I believe he's going to be sitting in a shed somewhere, dipping out a peyote button or something, an ayahuasca trip, hanging out with some of the homies out there. I know that that it's very possible that he could get deterred thinking that he's back on top because New York thinks that the Jets are back. Unfortunately, I don't think the Jets are back. I think that they're still in a state of disarray. Their defense is pretty good. They haven't put it all together on offense. And if you don't go out to Arizona and play Kyler Murray and treat him like a little hobbit punk, he's gonna fight you. And I think that team is getting better every week. They're leading their division, and they are gonna beat the Jets at home.
I like it. I don't think Call of Duty, the Kyler Call of Duty thing, I don't think that really matters. I just wanted to throw it out there to see how you responded.
All it did is make Kyler Murray more money.
It made him money. He collabed with them this year. Look, I told you, I know I didn't say it on this live stream, but I said it before the stream that there was going to be games that there might be games this week I just pick against you just to pick against you. And this is going to be the one. I'm going to take the Jets. Do I believe in them? No, I thought the Texans were going to win on Thursday last week. I've genuinely believed that. But if the Jets, I know they were at home, but if the Jets can beat the Texans, I think the Jets can beat the Cardinals. And this is just me trying to talk myself through justifying this. Because I really don't know what's going to happen in this game. I don't know if the cayenne pepper or the Call of Duty is going to work more. Kyler hasn't lost a game since the new Call of Duty. I mean, it just came out this weekend, or maybe it was last weekend. I don't know. But yeah, give me the Jets for no reason other than just to pick against you because I don't freaking know.
Ayahuasca for the win. Woo!
Yay, drugs. Sorry, I'm a Nintendo guy. I respect that, Jim. Moving on to the next, we got an NFC East matchup. We got the Eagles heading to Dallas, take on Cooper Rush and the Cowboys. Cooper Rush starting this game makes me want to take the Cowboys. But the Cowboys haven't won a game at home this year, and so I'm not going to pick them until they do. Give me Saquon, backflip and double, spin, hurdle, and Jalen Hurts and whoever else wants to show up for this game to get a very, very tight win over Cooper Rush and the Cowboys.
How hilarious will it be if Cooper Rush goes out here and takes this team to victory? How hilarious.
I low-key want that to happen so bad.
How funny would that be? Because, they just paid Dak, right? They just repaid Dak, extended him. And Cooper Rush has been sitting quietly on the bench. Trey Lance sitting quietly on the bench. And Dak Prescott has quietly been 3-5. And, this may be the spark that they need. Their defense hasn't played well. We know Zim can coach defense. But right now, these Eagles are hot. And Saquon Barkley, acrobatic back jumps. A.J. Brown is still dominant. I don't know if he's playing this week. I thought he might be hurt. I thought I saw that somewhere today. But he'll play. They've got the whole roster. Everybody's playing well. And I would love to pick the Cowboys, but I'm taking the Eagles on the road.
I'm kind of rooting for the Cowboys in this. I never thought I'd say that, but I think it's hilarious, dude. It's the best storyline of the entire season for the Cowboys if Cooper Rush wins this game.
Yeah, because then, there's no quarterback controversy. But then it makes
Jerry
it look like
Jones loves a good quarterback.
But it makes you look like you paid the wrong guy. You know what I'm saying? That's the funny part. And there's so many Cowboys fans out there that just need mud in their face every single day. That that would be a talking point for weeks. You just paid Dak Prescott all that money, but it takes Cooper Rush to bring you to victory.
Hey, I just talked about teams playing against backup quarterbacks in the Jaguars Vikings game. If Mac Jones can go in and beat the Vikings, and Cooper Rush can go in and beat the Eagles, it's not impossible. Cooper Rush, the last time Dak had a serious injury when he broke his ankle, Cooper Rush won like 5 games straight. And so I'm not ruling it out. But I do think the Eagles continue to roll here. They're finally putting it together this year. They had a little slow start. They were winning games, but not convincingly. And they're starting to become more dominant each and every week. And so, which we said that at the beginning of the year, their offensive line shifted. There was some new movement.
New coordinators. Coordinators.
And so I think we said it would take about half the year for them to put the pieces together. And, they're sitting at a very respectable record by the time they're starting to put these pieces together. So it's hard not to pick the Eagles right now. Moving on to Sunday Night Football. This is going to be a dandy, I'm sure. We've got the Lions, who just beat the Packers, heading to Houston to take on the Texans, who, like I said, just lost to the Jets, but also had a couple extra days off. What do you think?
Yeah, listen, it's a question of will the Lions have a letdown on the road? And I don't think so. I think the Lions are going to come out and score a bunch of points. The question is, were the Texans as good as we thought? Because without some of their receiving core, without all their players playing, they are a little bit suspect, even at home. Joe Mixon makes them good, but the defensive line of the Lions has been very tough. They added a nice piece in Zadarius Smith going forward. I like the Lions on the road. Jared Goff is playing at an MVP caliber, and CJ Stroud's having some struggles right now. I think if the Lions get ahead and it becomes a shootout, that it's going to be a little tougher on CJ. I'm going to go with the Lions. They've got all the pieces to win.
Man, I'm just so not sure about this game. The Lions, they're 5-0 in their last 5. They're playing very, very dominant football. They have yet to lose on the road this year. They've only lost one game, and that was at home. And the Texans have had their struggles, like you said. Offensively, the Texans are still being competitive despite, losing guys like Diggs. They started the season, they missed 2 or 3 games with all their running backs, and, they found ways to win. But I think what it comes down to for me is I think, this will be a competitive game, but I just don't think the Texans can score as many points as the Lions can. I don't think it's going to be a bad game for the Lions. For the Texans, but I don't think they can score. The Lions are putting up, averaging, 40 points a game right now. Their last couple. I don't remember what the final score was for the Packers game, but they probably scored over 30, if I remember. But before that, they had, 3 games in a row. They were scoring around 40, and so I just don't think – I think the Texans remain competitive, but I don't think they can put up enough points. Also, there was a lot of injuries in that Thursday night game with the Jets. There were Jets injuries, but there were also a lot of Texans injuries. I don't know what they look like. I'm just going to take the Lions because I don't feel very good about this one. And I'm just going to give the based on the points alone, I think Texans will form a lot of offense, but not enough points.
Let's go.
All right. Moving on to Monday Night Football. I know you're excited to talk about this one. We've got the Dolphins heading to LA to take on the Rams. And Dolphins are just finally getting back. They put up a very competitive match against the Bills. They only lost by 3 or 4 in a game they probably had no business competing in. But they are looking better. And the Rams quietly getting healthy and getting stronger each and every week. What do you think? I know what you think.
Yeah. I am so glad to see Tua back on the field. But all the time he was off, he should have went to some baseball games and learned how to slide a little bit. I'm scared for his health. Diving. He did it again, I guess, in the Buffalo game.
He did do it again. I saw it.
I respect that guy to no end because he's going to do what he wants to do. NFL football is where he wants to be. I think everybody making it an issue, to talk about makes it kind of fun to talk about, that he's whether in or out, not necessarily fun, but it's just conversation pieces. I think the guy's wants to play football and he's going to go out and compete. He's got a couple wide receivers that are starving for the ball. He's got good running backs. This was my hardest pick of the week. And I swear that as much as I like the Rams, I think the Dolphins are that good. But Matty Stafford, Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, Kyron Williams, give me the Rams at home because they're going to win the NFC West.
I respect that, and I knew you were going to, so I was already prepared for all of this. I think the Dolphins putting up 24 on the Bills last week spoke volumes to me. And I saw a lot of improvement in a lot of areas because that is not your get-right game, okay? Tua has beat Josh Allen one time in 4 or 5 years, That's not your get-right game, but they still took it to the very end and they had an opportunity to try to win that game. So I'm going to take the AFC team here, and I don't feel bad about it because I knew you were going to pick the Rams either way, most likely. Even if you debated it, I knew you were going to ride it out the Rams. I like what the Rams got going on. and I'm willing to take a bunch of L's this week, so I'm willing to take this one as well. But I think they're putting it together. Maybe not enough to make the playoffs. They're 4 games below 500. But if all things go right and they somehow manage to win out or something, they still probably do have a shot. And so,
oh yeah,
this team, we know what they're capable of at their best.
well,
They were the leading scoring team all season last year.
Just for clarification for everybody that's hanging out with us today, I had the Dolphins at 12-5 winning that division this year. That was before Tua got hurt. I know that they're more than capable, but I think there's something special about this Rams team too. So we'll see.
I'm not disrespecting the Rams. I had the Rams, but I had them finishing this season around 9-8. But I also had the Dolphins at 12-5. They obviously can't do that, but if they won out, they could be 11-6. And, this is the game where they decide if they're going to try to do that. They did not sell any pieces at the trade deadline, which means they're willing to ride it out and try to stick together, because there were a couple of guys on the talking blocks over the weeks. And, the Rams chose not to sell out either, but they've got a much easier path to the playoffs this year than the Dolphins do. But, yeah, I like splitting on this game with you. It is a 1-point spread for this game. So Vegas thinks it's as tight as we do. And I just hope it's a good game, honestly. That's all I care about. I hope it's a good game.
Man, I'm going solo Monday too, right?
Actually, no. I will be here this Monday. This Monday will officially be my last Monday Night Football game. And yes. I'm actually happy to do this one with you, because I think it's going to be tight, and I think that makes for a very interesting stream at the very least. But that's all we got. Everybody, make sure there's a link in the description if you've not been in our CBS Pick'ems. If you want to pick the rest of the year, you're not going to be able to win the whole season. But if you want to compete weekly against me, him, and all the other members of the Blood Fam, the link is there. It's totally free. Go ahead and sign up. Also, that link will put you in the It's in the Blood group, I believe, for March Madness, because you're doing college basketball now. And so we do brackets. I changed it last year so you could submit 2 brackets and make it a little more interesting, because, the first game of the tournament could ruin your entire bracket. And so I gave everybody 2 chances. But yeah, that CBS link gets you integrated in with the Blood Fam if you would like to join us and you have not already. Yeah, but we'll be back in like 20 minutes or so for Thursday Night Football to watch the Bengals. Papa Blood's Bengals go and take on the Ravens. We got Pissed Off Joe and Purple Helmet Birds. And I'm here for whatever is going to come with that. Appreciate you all so much. We love you, and we hope to see you for Thursday Night Football.
Smash the like. See you there.
Yeah.
Good day.